Hello, my name is Jackie Lewis. Jackie's on the Reef, the owner of Jackie's on the Reef. I am so honored by having Roberta Reeves at Jackie's on the Reef. She's been doing a goddess workshop for the last 4 days here, and I have learned so much about who I am as a goddess. And I think that the feminine energy, the feminine history has not been told. So what Roberta is doing is just unbelievable because she is honoring and also giving power and empowering so many women by just explaining the different goddesses because we know nothing about it. How are you, Roberta?
I'm wonderful and happy and delighted to be here, Jackie, in this temple that you have created to support the work of goddesses and healers and travelers in Negril, Jamaica.
Would you kind of explain? First of all, let's go with Roberta had us making our own mask. And so that was part of a total a 1 day workshop. We did masks, we did mandalas, and we did scarves. We did our tie-dye scarves we each so we could be dancing and be flowing with the beautiful fabric. So would you explain a little bit about what the purpose and the significance of these masks?
Masks and veils and mandalas are practices that we do with our hands called sadhana. They are the practices that link us to our ancestors back beyond time to the goddess as she lives in each of us. So they're a wake-up call to our ancestors that we're willing to connect with them and willing to listen to their voices and let them, through these myths, through these practices, inform our lives. One of the practices, as Jackie said, is we made masks for ourselves, allowing the unconscious mind, allowing that which is not conscious. It's not subconscious, it's unconscious, not below consciousness by any stretch. Come up and inform our mask of an element of ourselves, of who we are, who wants to be expressed here. And then that evening we sat in circle, put your mask on, and we put our masks on, and we spoke with the voice of our goddess. And so she spoke through us, words that we couldn't think up, words that came directly from her as we took aside the veil between consciousness and unconsciousness and allowed that which was in us to speak up. So that's that process, Jackie.
Wonderful. So to me, it is so healing for females to understand that way back in time, their ancestors, the females of their society, would do masks. They would play together. They would do tie-dye together. They would do mandalas together. Something that is totally lost in this society. So I'm so honored for Roberta to share this information with us. other thing was what you want to
Veils?
Yeah, yes, you want to explain the veils?
Well, I can, yes. Okay, so veils, an interesting dynamic. The tarot are images that speak to our unconscious mind. In the Wheel of Fortune card, there's an anagram, and it says, Rota Tarot Orat Torah Ator. It means the Wheel of the Tarot speaks the law of Hathor, who was a precursor to the goddess Isis. This is the language of the goddess. There are no words, there are symbols that speak directly to our soul, to our deepest levels. It bypasses the conscious mind. As I said with the masks, it's not your conscious thinking up, oh, what am I going to say? No. It's giving over. So the veils symbolize the veil in the temple of the high priestess. The first experience that the soul has when it comes into incarnation is the magician and the high priestess. And there is a veil between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. She sits behind two columns, much as we are sitting beside two columns here in Jackie's temple. And she is our link to that part of us that we don't know. Carl Jung has said, the unconscious is 90% pure gold. Many of the goddesses descend to the darkness, the story of life, death, and rebirth. That we all live as modern women, life, death, and rebirth. Which lifetime? Who was that woman that married that man? Who was the woman that taught yoga? Who was the woman that lost something to the mermaid? Different incarnations in the same life. We have no mythology to address that. And so we see it as a form of disease or illness, and we medicate ourselves instead of taking the journey to the depths. Every culture has a story of a descending goddess. Every story. Life, death, and rebirth, the cycles of nature, that's what ties us to her. The trees lose their leaves, and they're born again in the spring. In Greece, it was Persephone and Demeter. In Rome, it was Proserpina and Hestia. In Sumeria, it was the goddess Inanna who descended to the underworld and reaped the knowledge. The god said to her, Inanna, why do you want to go to the underworld? You have all the knowledge of heaven and earth. Why would you want to go to the underworld? She says, to meet my dark sister. So she gets all dressed up in her traveling clothes and descends the 7 gates of hell until she is a corpse hanging on a hook in the bowels of hell. And she ascends, much as in our everyday lives we die. Things are ripped from us like Velcro. Our children, our marriage, our career, our country. How do we survive those losses? The mythology gives us a story. It's part of being the goddess.
So, Roberta, could you give us a little? For me, it was very interesting, the Black Madonna and the Madonna of Christianity. The two, a little bit, just a synopsis of the two. That would really be wonderful for me.
All right, Jackie. So, again, I'm going to call your attention to the tarot because it images this split. Our Lady has been split in two. There is the high priestess, the pure, the chaste Madonna, the spiritual mother. Jung called her Mater Spiritualis. And then there is Mater Natura, Mother Nature. Upper three chakras, lower three chakras, bound at the heart. In our culture, the high priestess and the empress are split. They're split into the pure, chaste, spiritual mother. And then the Madonna, who is dark and unknown, Mary Magdalene. So our job, I feel, Jackie, is to help women put these two together again and to feel how it feels to make fabric. Feel the fabric in your hands. Mm-hmm. See the beauty and the delight of the colors. See the joy in creating. A lot of this work is about creating with our hands to do the practices and issuing forth a gift. And tell me, I'm going to interview you a minute. How does it feel to wear your scarf? What's that like?
I feel so ethereal. You know, I feel like I'm floating. It's so beautiful, and I'm so proud of myself of being able to do this because I never dreamed that I would be able to do a tie-dye. I give sheets to a man to tie-dye for me. I will now don't have to give it. I won't have to pay money. I can do it myself. It's such a beautiful, beautiful idea. It's just incredible. And you know, throughout times I've seen in Africa women tie-dyeing things all over the world. In Western civilization, it's lost. You know, in Western civilization, we really don't really understand who we are. So it's about just wake up.
It is about understanding the divine feminine through her mythology. Mm-hmm. The stories are there for us. And experiencing self as divine feminine. In this way, we honor ourselves, and we can honor the patriarchy and bring it back into balance. I really feel, Jackie, that's our job as women.
Absolutely.
To step up, sit in circle. It's only going to happen in circle, not in straight lines like desks in a schoolroom.
Right.
It's happening in circle with sisters.
Well, thank you, Roberta. Thank you so much.
Jackie, I am so honored and heart-touched to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so honored and heart-touched to have you here. Blessings, huh?